The Spanish subjunctive mood is killing me. Watch the rest of this video to see how I went from totally confused to passing my quiz on the Spanish subjunctive. I knew if I wanted to master Spanish, if I wanted to become fluent, I was going to have to conquer the subjunctive mood. But it was always a stretch goal. It was aspirational. If I wanted to become Maddie's Mundo level fluent, I was going to need to master Spanish subjunctive. It is the barrier between beginner and advanced level Spanish speakers. It is the key to fluency. But now it's right in front of me. I have to pass Spanish subjunctive imperfect in order to pass my level 7 quiz on baseline. I need to take a couple steps backwards and learn subjunctive, because knowing it's the key to getting me to that next level. So what exactly is Spanish subjunctive? It's really a mood. It's not a verb tense. It's more of a vibe. It's a way to express desires, wishes, hypotheticals, things that aren't actually real yet. There's a few rules to it, like you have to have 2 subjects, and there's some sort of a trigger phrase. Here's one example. I hope you have a good day. The 2 subjects are I and you. The trigger is I hope. And the mystery part of it is a good day. We don't know. It's just hypothetical at this point. So normally I use comprehensible input. That means I just sit and listen to videos and my brain absorbs it. Can I learn this with comprehensible input? It's a really good question, and I don't know. But what I do know is it takes me a long time to absorb things in my brain. The other problem with comprehensible input is I'm not exactly sure what I'm listening to when these sorts of situations come up. I understand things that happen in the past, I understand things that happen in the present, but this one's a little bit of a mystery. The first tool in my toolbox was using artificial intelligence. I grabbed Google NotebookLM. I've used it a few times in the past, but it's really good at taking a lot of different sources and trying to compact them into one good study guide. And it can also make videos and podcasts to help you learn these concepts. It gave me a great overview. It let me know kind of exactly what I need to learn. It broke it down into simple steps and an easy to memorize formula. Remember, it could take all those other sources and try to figure out the commonalities or try to figure out things that kind of stood out. My next step in this process was using a YouTube video series from an instructor that I really trust and highly recommend, Danny Evans. He goes by the Language Tutor on YouTube. Danny is the best. He's got amazing videos and he really breaks down subjects so they're easy to understand. However, I think Danny is really geared towards giving you the knowledge to pass your high school Spanish exam or your college Spanish exam, and not really giving you the tools to be conversive. You can learn the concepts, you can apply them in a sentence, but how do you apply them into an overall conversation? It's a little more tricky with Danny, so he's not the top resource that I'm recommending in this concept. My top resource is QRoo Paul, QRoo Paul. I became familiar with QRoo Paul the first time I went to Mexico. A friend of ours, Allison, said, hey, you got to check out this 2 Expats blog. And that's how Paul kind of became famous, is he moved to Mexico and he had an expats blog and talked about how it is living there. And that's why I started following him. But he also has a really good Spanish series. And he started that back when I first started watching, and it has continued and really become a great resource. I think his approach is a little more simple and straightforward. What you basically do is you start by memorizing sentence starters, little cues, little phrases that kick off a subjunctive sentence. Then you conjugate the verb to go along with it in the subjunctive mood. Then you put together the sentence. So rather than memorizing the entire huge concept of subjunctive, you learn little trigger sentences that put you in the subjunctive mood. And then once you've learned one of those triggers and the sentence that goes along with it and how to make that sentence, he moves you on to the next trigger. And then you repeat the same process, and then you move on to the next trigger. His subjunctive video series has 5 videos. So just 50 minutes of videos can get you to understand the concepts of subjunctive, and you're able to use those phrases right away. But his playlist has 21 different videos. So there's plenty of content if you want to take a deeper dive. So here's one of the examples that I learned. Ojalá que llegue temprano a mi trabajo mañana. I hope I can arrive early at my job tomorrow. So that's exactly what I've learned, is to put together sentences and make it work. Rather than trying to memorize all this big concept, and is this a wish? And then if it's a wish, does it meet the 2-subject rule? It's just too much for my brain to figure out. I'm just learning sentences and putting them together. I've noticed I can do that with other things. I'm really good if I'm with a new instructor and they want me to introduce myself. I have a whole introduction memorized. Soy Mark, soy de los Estados Unidos, vivo en Iowa. Iowa es estado central de los Estados Unidos, oeste de Chicago. Soy un paramédico de ambulancia. I can spit that out pretty quickly and make it sound good, but it's because I've used it a couple hundred times. And I think that's what I need to do to learn the Spanish subjunctive. So what's the result? I passed my quiz. I got a 75%. I had a little trouble on irregular conjugations, but I just need more time to memorize those. So no doing flashcards, no doing anything like that. I just applied myself, backed up a couple steps, tried to master the concepts that I needed to learn to get to the next level and push through. I still have a lot of work to do. This has only been about 2 days worth of work, but the results are already showing, and I'm starting to feel more comfortable having conversations using the subjunctive mood in Spanish. So there's my recommendation. Start with Google NotebookLM, drop a bunch of resources in there, see if you can kind of get the base concept, get that grasp of what you should be learning. The Language Tutor is another great resource. He's got a comprehensive video series on all different types of Spanish. So if you get stuck, take a look at that. And then finally, look at QRoo Paul's series on subjunctive, because I think it'll make a big difference. Are you struggling with subjunctive? Have you broken through that plateau? Let me know how you did it. Drop a comment in the box below. As always, like this video and follow along to get more content.